I've been thinking about you, yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel All Things Baddie. My name is Adiola, but people call me Addie for short. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning and supporting me and my content. If you're new, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and turn those post notifications on so you don't miss any of my content. Now, let's get into this video. Today's video is going to be a social and political commentary video, and today we are going to be discussing Lil Nas X and his recent controversy. So let's get right into this video. So Lil Nas X has been getting a lot of heat because he recently released a song called Montero. A lot of Christians were upset because they felt like the imagery within his music video mocked Christianity. They felt like he used different types of images and scenes that related to things that occurred within the Bible. Like, for instance, in the beginning, there was a snake-like human that was in a tree that came down to talk to him. And that goes back to the story of Adam and Eve, where Adam was being spoken to by the snake in the apple tree and was told basically, partake in this fruit, even though the Lord said you cannot do so. The reason why he used that particular scene was to draw parallels between the way that a lot of Christians speak about sexualities that are not heteronormative as being sinful. A lot of non-straight individuals are told that they are going to go to HE double hockey sticks if they decide to live in their truth. So this is the conversation that is clearly, and I mean clearly, I just watched the music video today, and out the gate, it is clear and apparent what he's trying to say, what the story and the message is behind this song and the music video. So this is the introduction in the beginning of the music video. This is the narration that is said. In life, we hide the parts of ourselves that we don't want the world to see. We lock them away. We tell them no. We bash them. But here, we don't. It's clear that he's talking about his experience being a gay black man. So him stating in life we have parts of ourselves that we don't want the world to see, that being the things that the world is going to judge you for, that they're going to mistreat you for, oppress you for. You try to lock it away. You try to hide it. You try to not show it. You try to tell yourself, no, this is wrong. I'm wrong. Something's wrong with me. You try to bash those people, those individuals, yourself. But there's a space where you don't have to deal with that. And that's basically what the introduction is. I don't know how people miss that. When he said we bash them, he's talking about society as a whole. Society bashes LGBTQIA plus individuals. They act like they don't have a place in this world or a place to feel safe. Every year is the bloodiest year for trans people. Every single year. Where are they allowed to be safe? And on top of that, you have a social group that is constantly telling this community that they're going to go to HE double hockey sticks for just being who they are, for being born the way that they're born. Lil Nas X said, I'm not concerned with any of that. Y'all saying I'm about to go to HE double hockey sticks. Well, I'm going to take a first class pole ride all the way down there then, because I'd rather be who I am than not. And you can't weaponize Christianity as a way to instill fear in me. You can't do that because I love myself. I feel like that's the message I got from it. It's so interesting what a lot of Christians like to stick on as far as who goes to HE double hockey sticks for what and why. There's so much things in the Bible that is not condoned, that is considered a sin, that so many Christians and heterosexual individuals participate in. They are sinning daily, sinning all the time, but their concern is the sexuality of another person because they view that as a sin, as if they're not sinning, as if in the Bible that they love so dearly, it says that you should not judge, and that he or she who has not sinned can cast the first stone. But if you have, okay, if you're a sinner, then you cannot be casting a stone at anybody. Y'all cannot be out here having premarital intercourse, wearing wool, cottons, and mixing threads and whatnot, over here eating shrimp and pork. And you're having the nerve and the audacity to be out here judging people and saying what music should and should not be allowed based on your own religious ideology. You cannot force people to have the same religious background as you. We live in the U.S. The Constitution supports him and his content. The First Amendment has freedom of speech as well as freedom of religion. So you cannot discriminate against him, censor him, suppress him, or sanction him because he could potentially, because we don't even actually know, not be Christian. And we don't like that because this is a Christian country. That's not okay. We live in a country that says it's okay for people to practice whatever religion that they want to be a part of. And even if this is not about religion, he's allowed to say what he wants to say. It's not like what he's saying or portraying is harmful to a marginalized demographic. It's not like it's going to create harm and violence for a marginalized group. He is the marginalized group. He's black, potentially not Christian, and he's gay. If we're keeping it 100, we can admit via history that Christianity has been used to oppress and marginalize a lot of different social groups. I mean, like, come on. The Trail of Tears, slavery, the list really goes on and on and on, and it's still used and weaponized against marginalized groups of people. Now, when I say Christianity, I'm talking about the institution of Christianity as a religion, not Christianity itself as in the word, not the Bible itself, but the institution, the system around Christianity, because religion is an institution. Just like there is the criminal justice system, which is also an institution, Christianity is an institution within this country. It's so much of a huge institution that we had to create the separation of church and state, because you can't use, well, you're not supposed to be able to use your personal religiosity and religious identification as a way to discriminate and be prejudiced to other people who do not practice the same religion, because they are again supported by the First Amendment within the Constitution. After the release of the song, Lil Nas X decided to do a shoe collaboration with a company where they came out with what was considered to be Satan shoes. They had blood in the little air bubbles in the Air Maxes. A lot of people were upset about that because they felt like, again, he's playing with God and Jesus, the Heavenly Father. And how dare he not be Christian? How dare he? Okay, so everybody was on board when Nike came out and basically said that they had no type of connection to this project and that they were going to sue. This was very weird because Nike allowed for a pair of shoes to be dropped prior to that collaboration with Lil Nas, and it was basically the opposite. It was basically like some godly heavenly shoes, and it was basically the opposite contrast. It was like white and blue, and Lil Nas X's shoe was black and red. They were okay with the perpetuation of imagery and symbols of what is considered to be godliness and heaven-like when they were selling the other shoe, but they weren't okay with the opposite being shown with Lil Nas X's shoes. I kind of think it's really because of the controversy that came with it and all the backlash. Like, Nike possibly didn't want to get into a whole nother situation like they did with Black Lives Matter, when a lot of conservative people decided that they were going to no longer support them and burn their stuff and etc. And this was like a huge thing. So seeing how the majority of people were not okay with Lil Nas X's music video and were somewhat boycotting him and trying to cancel him, they jumped on the cancel bandwagon. But we're going to talk about and discuss a little bit later in the video why it's not okay for a corporation to do what Nike and several streaming platforms is doing to Lil Nas X. So Lil Nas X said, "Not even joking, everybody stream Call Me By Your Name hard today because it may no longer be available tomorrow and there's nothing I can really do about it. Thanks for all the support though." Then he said, "Go to Apple Music and click on Call Me By Your Name to see if it's still available in your country." Someone had tweeted, "Is anybody else having trouble playing his song name on Spotify? I tapped on it and then it immediately stopped. All other songs work." Lil Nas X responds to that tweet and says, "It's happening on all streaming services," with a sad face. So someone posted proof to show that this is actually occurring, and they showed a screenshot, and the screenshot shows that on the song, when you click on it, it says this song is not currently available in your country or region. So she writes in the caption, "I was about to laugh at you guys for not being able to listen, but I can't anymore either. I literally just listened to it on the way home last night like 20 times, and now it's unavailable." And then there was another picture showing again that the song is no longer available and that Lil Nas X is serious. His label, Columbia Records, ended up coming out and confirming. They stated on Twitter, "Thanks for all of your comments regarding at Lil Nas X, Montero, Call Me By Your Name. It's unfortunately out of our control, but we are doing everything possible to keep the song up on streaming services. We will keep you up to date as we hear more. Thank you for understanding." Why would the song be taken down off of streaming platforms because of the imagery in the music video? That has nothing to do with the content within the actual song. It really is not even in their place to do something like this as a corporation, as far as the streaming networks themselves, to decide that they are going to first sanction him in this kind of way, but really suppress him and try to censor him and his art. And I can't help but to feel like the reason why people are going so hard on him is because he's gay. Because at the end of the day, there is so much music in multiple different various genres that borderlines on what a lot of Christians would consider to be demonic, especially in the music videos. Even the award shows. Nikki, y'all remember what they did to her when she accidentally angered the Catholics, which is a part of Christianity, but that's really neither here or there. I wonder what people were saying about her back in the Monster days when she had came out with that part of the music video. I'm sure they felt like her alter ego Roman was demonic. I'm sure. I mean, like, come on, Rihanna. The list goes on. So many people in the industry, rappers, metal, screamo, dark rock. Like, there's so many different genres that use imagery, content, messaging, and etc. that is considered to the Christian religion as being demonic. But that doesn't mean that because it's something that you particularly don't like, would not want to see or listen to, that you have the right to censor and suppress those individuals as well as that particular content. There are literally worse things being said and done in a lot of different songs that are still allowed to be streamed, music videos that you can still watch and they aren't being sanctioned. There's a lot of songs where people are confessing to crimes, murders, etc., actual harm and violence, and nothing is done about that. The fact that they do not like his imagery because it is considered non-Christian, and deciding that because of the music video, which is separate from the song, because they're deciding that the music video is not up to their standard, they're going to take down his song. That's such a slippery slope. Let's get into it. It is open knowledge that the US is basically controlled by conglomerates and corporations. So we're aware that they lobby, they pay a lot of money to be able to have an assortment of loopholes and to basically have access, power, and etc. Once you allow a corporation to get away with censoring, suppressing, and sanctioning people for using their right to express themselves in their freedom of speech, as well as their freedom to practice whatever religion they want to or not practice whatever religion that they want to. If they decide that they can just choose to take away those liberties by giving sanctions so that people abide by what is considered to be the norm within that demographic, that is going to force people to further conform and assimilate into the majority culture, which further marginalizes them. And it's not going to stop there. A lot of different corporations and businesses are going to pick up and use those tactics because they are gauging based off of the responses from everyone else, whether or not you're going to let it slide, whether or not you're going to allow them to take away your own freedom and liberties. We already see this happening with different social media platforms. Instagram is well known for suppressing and censoring certain content. And a lot of times it's not even the content that needs to be suppressed. They suppress a lot of Black Lives Matter information, a lot of information about what's happening to marginalized communities as far as the violence. They suppress a lot of that information. Tabitha Brown just came out the other day, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, and she talked about what just recently happened with the shooting of that gentleman. And she said that in the post, a lot of people were hitting her up saying, I'm trying to share this video. The video was basically a loving way of talking about what's occurring within our social group as Black people. And they could not share the video. And she shows evidence of this with her daughter, Choice, and tells her to do it. And it shows that it just buffs. It just buffers and buffers and buffers, and it never does it.
Now, I said, Choice, try to share it on yours. And this is what happens. So when she tries to share it, okay, you see that? It just keeps thinking. It won't allow it to share.
You do this for like 20 minutes.
It just stays in this. So I ask again, Instagram, what was it about the truth rooted in love? What was it that has caused you to not want that message to travel? At the end of the video, I asked that we all look at ourselves, because change only can start within. Listen to that. If we work for a system that has decided that certain messages shouldn't be said, are we part of the problem?
So there's different ways that Instagram themselves censors people and suppresses certain data, information, and etc., especially if you use certain words, hashtags, all the above. TikTok is also well known for doing this. Conscious Lee, I think is his name on Instagram. I'll put his information on the screen. He talks about how TikTok is constantly censoring and suppressing the information that he is sharing that is really only bringing information, knowledge, and awareness about a lot of different social issues. Because the gag really is that when they're censoring people and they're suppressing information and they're sanctioning people, it starts from the bottom and then it goes up. It doesn't start from the people who are in power, because they're the ones who are enforcing this. So of course they're enforcing their ideologies, their control, what they would like onto those who are oppressed, because they want them to conform and assimilate into a environment that makes it easier for them to do what they need to do to be successful corporations and conglomerates. They're doing what they do to line their own pockets, we don't need to make it any easier for them because we have our own prejudices against certain social groups that we would like to yield the power to oppress them as well as other marginalized people. It's like, you know what oppression looks like when it's being done to you. But as soon as somebody is living a life that you just don't agree with for whatever personal reasons, then you want to do the oppressing. Then you want to do the discriminating. Then you want to be prejudiced, even though you yourself are being discriminated against, are being oppressed. And this part is really me just speaking directly to my community, the Black community, because I follow, of course, Black content, Black blogs, and I saw in the comment section on many Black blogs that a lot of Black people were ecstatic about the repercussions that Lil Nas X was experiencing, the backlash and etc. Because we're not going to get into this. This is going to be a longer discussion, but the Black community and Christianity has a long history within the U.S. in particular. But anyway, it makes no sense. The hypocrisy is so crazy, especially because these are the same people that were mad at the fact that Lil Nas X was being censored when his song Old Town Road was being suppressed and taken off of the country charts. A lot of people were so mad about that censorship that was occurring at the time in the beginning of his career. Now they're sitting here clapping for him being censored now because, in my opinion, he's gay and he's possibly not Christian. Like, if you're going to be mad, we're going to need you to keep that same energy with a lot of different individuals about a lot of different stuff. It can't end here. But that's also a part of the issue, that when you start at this level, it's only going to increase. They're only going to do more. They're only going to do more censorship, more suppression, more sanctions. They're only going to create more rules, more regulations, more reasons for them to be able to say that you don't have the right to say how you feel or what you're experiencing. Of course, I understand that there are instances where it's necessary to censor some people, especially if there is some type of violence and backlash that comes from some type of aggressive and violent rhetoric or imagery. But if that is not occurring, we need to be very cautious about the things that we allow to transpire as it pertains to censorship, particularly because, again, it's a slippery slope, y'all. I find it so interesting that no one is mentioning the ending and how valuable that is to this discussion. It's almost like people are acting like he's worshiping the devil, but he took his life. So I feel like there's so much conversation to have around this. I could really talk about this even longer, but I told myself I wanted to take 15 to 20 minutes and I went over 20 minutes a little bit. So I'm going to end it here. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, turn your post notifications on so you don't miss any of my videos. I truly appreciate you watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think that his identities, as far as him being a gay Black male who could potentially not be Christian, is significantly impacting him as far as the backlash that he's been getting recently? Do you feel like it's okay for corporations and businesses to suppress, censor, and sanction freedom of expression as far as speech and religion? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm really interested. This topic has been on my mind. Do you feel like his song is any different from anybody else's songs? I mean, we hear so much vulgar things in music. Is it any different? And if it is, let me know why down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. You could have been watching anybody else on this platform, but you decided to watch me, and I greatly appreciate that. Bye.
We should take our clothes off. We should get it on. We could get it poppin'. We could get it something going on. it's cute.